Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name's Jyoti Mystery.
My name's Rose Branda.
And we'd like to welcome you to the launch of The Human, issue 12 of the Past Journal.
We're very happy to see you all here online, and we're very happy to get this issue launched.
Yeah. So maybe I just say that, like I've said, my name is Jyoti Mystery, and I'm professor in film at HDK-Valand. And I was assigned as part of the working group towards the Human Conference in 2019, in November 2019. And I'd like to acknowledge that this issue has come together in a very elegant way, thanks to the input from Rose. And the conference was conceived by 3 of our colleagues who are no longer actually part of the institution, or at least 2 of them aren't. That's Dave Beach and Christina Hagström-Stöll, who put together an extraordinary call for papers with Erling Bovinsson. And I'd like to just acknowledge also the contribution of Jessica Hemmings to this working group, and for a short while, Lucy Wilson, and particularly also to Sanna Kofod Olsen, who steered not only the conference, but the bringing together this final issue, issue 12 of Human.
Yeah, and from my little quick introduction, I guess, I've been part of the PAST working group for quite a few years now under different roles, and I've been coordinating and managing the group, I guess. And I worked a lot on the conference, like the logistics around the conference, and helping put the whole thing like in real life together, like sorting out the food and helping with the strands and beginning to be more involved with the content. So it's been a really wonderful opportunity to work with the actual publication. So we've worked over this year, I guess, to get it out online, which all went online today. And to celebrate the issue, we've invited Juno Jakin and Eva Einhorn, who make Krabstadt, and then also Garðar Eyjólfsson. Thank you. Yeah, to talk about their practices. Garðar was part of the conference, and it was such a wonderful interjection into the conference format. Like he had
performance,
yeah, like grand piano and offering people food and playful singing. Yeah, it was. I thought it was really refreshing. So it's nice to welcome him back.
You're welcome back, and the contribution in Human is an exceptional piece of sort of illustration. So I encourage everyone to look at it. It's called A Tale of Transformation, Barbara and a Tale of Transformation. I'd like to acknowledge or contextualize actually what the Human Special Edition is. It looks or invites us to rethink the conditions for political imaginary, and to really think about the structural transformation and justice for human and non-humans alike. What is at the heart of the current debates around what it means to be human? And at a moment like this, when all of us have had to rethink our humanness and our humanity in the time of COVID, it seems that the launch of Human is at a particularly poignant moment when we are actually thinking about the current wave of xenophobia and neo-colonial dehumanization. What is important to recognize is also as this edition looks at how we respond to, in the arts, to the term and the crisis of our humanity. So I'd like to invite my colleague Elena Raviola, who is professor in design at HDK-Valand. She's a wonderful colleague to have, but also an important colleague who will facilitate the dialogue with our 2 artists for tonight. Elena will introduce our 2 artists in more detail and their biographies, but I would like to recognize that Elena's research interest lies in understanding the role of technology and other material artifacts in organizing professional work. Her work addresses professional norms, rules, structures, and how ideas are enacted, and how technology intervenes in these professional practices. Her focus is primarily between institutional theory and actor network theory. So I think it is totally appropriate to have Elena talk to our two guests tonight, and to invite Elena now to introduce our two guests and to contextualize their work in the context of this issue of the past launch of Human. Elena.
Thank you. Thank you, Jyoti, and thank you, Rose, for inviting me, and very welcome to everybody. Thank you for making this happen, and also thank you very much to Garðar, Juno, and Eva for joining us tonight. So my role here is I will introduce briefly Garðar, and then Juno and Eva, and then I will try to ask you a few questions that trigged me when I looked at your work, and then I will open up for more questions and a common discussion. So if you want to ask questions, you can write them in the chat, or you can also raise your hand, and I will call you when we open up for the discussion. So first of all, I would like to introduce our first artist. I will present his work, Garðar Eyjólfsson. And Garðar has this piece that Jyoti mentioned, Barbara a Tale of Transformation, which is the last essay, the last piece at in the order on the website of this last issue that has come out. And as Jyoti anticipated, and I'm very much looking forward to hear Garðar, this is a very fascinating piece and a very fascinating tale. Let's get back to this afterwards. But first of all, I would like to introduce Garðar, who is a designer, I would guess. I don't know if you ascribe yourself to that category, but Garðar has a bachelor degree in product design from Central Martin in London, and a master degree in contextual design from Design Academy in Eindhoven. And Garðar's work is particularly interesting because it sort of mixes narrative and critical research to explore, the zeitgeist. So what's our common issues. And for us, it's also particularly flattering to have you, Garðar, because you also direct a master in design explorations and translations at the Iceland University of the Arts. And so you're also balancing between academia and artistic practices or studio practices, between inside and outside academia, which makes this a very interesting dialogue. So without further ado, I would like to leave the word to Garðar, and you can do whatever you want, Garðar, for the next 20-30 minutes, and then we'll give the word to Juno and Eva. So please, Garðar, very welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed coming to Gothenburg in 2019. Seems like a long time ago, but I'm happy to continue here. So what I'm going to attempt to do is to present one of the chapters from my short design fiction. It's going to be kind of some sort of a live performance. I have here like a series of synthesizers, a microphone, and the story. And I'm gonna present that to you now and see how it goes. So I'm gonna do a short test now to make sure everything works. Okay, so you can hear this?
It works.
Very good, great. Okay, so I think off you go. Is it possible to remove the sidebar of people? Is that possible, or because I think it might be in the way of the text, perhaps?
You mean for the
There we go. This should be better for you. Garðar, is it good?
Yeah, I still have the participants.
Yeah, I think that Garðar, I think everybody can do it by just clicking on the minimizing.
Super. There you go. Okay. So you see my screen? Yes?
Yes.
And here we go. I am losing consciousness. I am losing consciousness. Who needs gravity? Who needs gravity? I'm drifting. I am 12 years old. I am 12 years old. My parents like to take me on cultural trips. They strive to broaden my horizon by taking me to explore other cultures around the world. We use school vacations to travel, usually to Europe and America, since we can't really afford to visit places further away. Places which would most probably challenge my worldview on a much deeper level. For this winter break, we've traveled to Barcelona. Me and my father share a bench in front of Sagrada Familia by Gaudí. Spring is here, still and calm. We could feature in an insurance company ad. Sitting on a bench like this, I eat ice cream. My father sips a cappuccino from a paper cup. My father has a way of informing our conversations with small lessons for me to learn, so that I barely notice. I suspect him of planning this weeks before. Enjoying your ice cream? My father asks. Yes, I answer. Which flavor did you get? My father asks again. I answer, strawberry and chocolate. Ah, your favorite flavors. My father's desperate attempt to fuel a conversation with his daughter. Yes, I reply. We sit together in silence. Do you want me to tell you a story? My father asks. I nod in approval with my mouth full. I love to blend the flavors together in big chunks of strawberry and chocolate. This church in front of us is called Sagrada Familia, designed by Antoni Gaudí, who was an architect. He was obviously a very ambitious architect. He saw the construction of his church begin in 1882. Well, it's estimated that it would only first be completed in the year 2026. My father stresses 20 and 6. For 144 years from the start of its construction, Gaudi's experimental new building methods and innovative use of architectural forms have made the building extremely complex to build. However, in recent years, it has become easier and easier to manifest Gaudi's vision into reality with support from computer programs and new building processes. My father looks at me, and as our eyes meet, I can feel that he senses that I'm looking through him. My father stops speaking for a while and takes a sip of his coffee. He then carries on. But this is not the story. The story is about when Salvador Dali, one of the surrealist artists, was showing Gaudi's church to the architect Le Corbusier, who was a modernist. My father looks at me again. He sees that I'm still staring through him. Dali, remember? My father asks and then continues. The artist who felt so bad for his cat because the cat was not allowed with him on his travels between countries. Well, he decided to eat his cat so that it could travel with him in his stomach. I finally relate a bit and laugh nervously. And Le Corbusier, the man who is responsible for so many middle-class people wanting to live in square concrete houses with big windows. One of the main guys to develop modernism. I answer, half interested. My father continues. So Dali was showing Gaudi's church to Le Corbusier. Of course, Le Corbusier was appalled by what he saw. The church, by his standard, was a very poor piece of architecture. Le Corbusier got all worked up and proceeded to give Dali a lecture about the perfect form of architecture in relation to modernism as a philosophical guideline. Dali listened patiently and waited for Le Corbusier to finish his preaching. Then, after a short while, Dali answered firmly, "No, architecture should be soft and hairy." All right. Did it go okay through?
Yes.
Thank you. So this was kind of an attempt, the performative attempt through Zoom. But to maybe give it a bit of contextual background, so this is the first chapter in a I think 7 chapter long story, and each chapter is trying to attempt to somehow deal with kind of zeitgeist issues. I guess it's a story of ideological clashes. It's a story of clashes between generations, between a father and a daughter. It's a story about our relationship with the environment and how we are really struggling with that relationship. It's also a story about technology and again, our relationship with that. And I guess also the conflictual nature of our kind of, I guess, to a certain extent, our need to kind of somehow reconnect with the concept of nature, but at the same time having this immense belief in technology and its possibility to, you know, redeem us or save us. Yeah, and I think just kind of looking back now, I'm leaning more and more towards these kind of fictional aspects, because as I kind of just grow in my kind of academic career, and you go through so much stuff that you research, both with students and in your own work, but I think it's just a really good venue to kind of use fiction and characters to kind of manifest the complexity that we really have to deal with in the profession of design today. So I think I will leave it with that for now as an opening for further discussion.
Thank you so much, Garðar, and thank you for this performance.